Okay, here we go.
What you got in your list today?
Well, what have we been talking about the last couple of weeks?
Networking.
Networking. So what would make sense, Mr. Joe,
Here he goes again.
if we were doing networking, what would be the next process in the procedure?
Well, once you define your VFD, then it's time to start engaging. Or no, before that would be
That's right.
getting the right material, the right method that you want to bring it across. I don't know how fine you'd like to go into breaking it up, but oh,
What is a sale? That was a question. I was expecting an answer. What is a sale? What do you think it is?
exchange of two valuable products.
Okay.
One's money to somebody, the other one's what a service product. Whatever.
Okay. You want to take a shot at it? What is a sale?
Well, could be a signed contract and payment.
Okay. I've asked this question to hundreds of people. Maybe not hundreds, but a lot of people.
You got more than one answer, right?
Yeah, no, it's always the same. It's always the same. What you're giving me the definition of is a close.
Really?
Is a close. What you're thinking, and it's a natural instinct. What is a sale? This is why sales has such a bad rap. It's the exchange of something, money for a product usually, but it's like the close, which is the end of a chain. Okay. What a sale really is there's actually 5 steps we're going to cover tonight, but it's finding the prospect, finding out what they need and want, making sure that they want it, presenting it to them to make sure that it's going to solve their problem, then you close it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we've had the E out of sale.
Huh?
We were answering with the E out of sales, one part of it.
Yeah, there you go. Missing a whole bunch of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why sales has such a bad rap. Because what happens is, if you don't understand the anatomy of a sale, or you don't understand how a sale works, what happens is it goes into force. And this is where all these trickster salesmen came about, mostly in the car business, but where all these salesmen would get kind of slick and they would trick you into buying something, right? Well, the only reason why is because they didn't have the proper technology to close someone. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about networking. So you go on into these groups, or you go online, and you meet people. Okay? What's the purpose of meeting someone when you're networking?
See Jeff coming.
Okay,
Start a relationship.
that's right, start a relationship. So you're looking for like-minded people to your product. That's what we were talking about. Not to you, but to your product. So if you're selling skis, right, snow skis, probably wouldn't be good to go to Hawaii, right? If you're selling cupcakes, probably wouldn't be good to go to a Jenny Craig's meeting, right? It's just kind of common sense. So you're looking for, when you're networking, you're looking for like-minded people. So it's a numbers game. Once you find someone that's interested, and the way you find someone that's interested is when you give them your business card, elevator pitch, or business card. Within a certain time period, you'll recognize whether they're qualified or not. Okay? So just with that simplicity, let's talk about how you, and which, by the way, I'm working out of a book that we sell here called How to Sell, Clear and Simple, by Harry Fish, I think is his name. Yeah, Harry Fish. Right? We sell them here. I think they're, I don't know how much they're, $30 or $35, $29.95. And the back of the cover says, discover the basic attributes a salesman needs to be successful, and you'll be surprised. The exact 5-step sequence of a sale and how to master and apply it. How to keep a steady stream of high qualified referrals coming your way. That's huge. How to discover any prospect's key motivation for buying and use that to close the sale. The simple 4-step method that dissolves any and all objections. Yes, one method works on all objections. We're going to go over this in the next couple of weeks. The 2 simple actions that dramatically increase your closing ratio while decreasing effort and stress. How to guarantee an expanding income based by cultivating repeat sales. The single most effective action that corrects anything that's going wrong. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about the 5 steps. So step number 1. Prospecting. So the last 3 weeks I've been talking about networking. Is that or is that not prospecting? Right?
Sure.
So, being the type of guy that I am, I've been out because I practice what I preach. So whatever I tell you guys, it's either I've done it, or I did it. I don't talk about stuff that I haven't done. Or I tell you I've never done this, but I've seen other people do that. I'm very fortunate because I consult a lot of businesses. So, you know, I have businesses that do anywhere from, like I said last week, anywhere from, you know, a few $1,000s a month all the way up to $300,000-400,000 a month. Okay. I mostly consult on marketing, online marketing, offline marketing, but I also do some business stuff. My wife Pam is a very powerful business consultant, so we tend to put a line down the middle of the living room floor. You do these, I'll do these, you know. So I'm out doing meetups. You know, like this morning I was in a meetup in New Haven. And tomorrow morning I have one at 7 o'clock in Rocky Hill. I'll get up early and go to these meetups. I went on to meetup.com, just like I told you guys to do, and I'm out introducing myself to people and working on how do you do this. What's the problem with that? What's the problem with you getting up tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock and being at Rocky Hill?
No, nothing. That's not hard. I get up early.
Oh, do you?
Okay, that's why I leave early.
Yeah.
But it's very time consuming.
That's right. It's very time consuming. So what I have done, and if you, I'm not going to give this to you now because this is not the point of tonight's lecture, but if you email me, and I'll put my email link in the video for those that don't have it, I actually found a system, an automated system, where I'm networking. It takes me 2 hours a day. You get 2 hours a day? You could, but do you want to give 2 hours a day in networking? No. You think I'm going to give up 2 hours a day? Come on, Jim. It runs on my computer. It's on LinkedIn. It's a tool that I've discovered. I didn't make it. Somebody else made it, and I discovered it. And basically what it does is you pick a keyword. You pick your demographics. You could pick whether you want to be an owner, you want to talk to a manager, whatever your criteria are. And it actually goes out and finds those people in your area, or whatever area you specify this tool to do. And it actually goes out and it looks at their profile, and it looks at their stuff on LinkedIn. Just by human nature, if somebody looks at my stuff, what am I gonna do?
Usually take a look, looking back up.
Take a look at their stuff, just by human nature. So I've actually figured out a way to network, to start off with, because LinkedIn has some criteria. I network with 750 people a day. Okay, I'm prospecting using this tool in LinkedIn, which I didn't, I knew LinkedIn was big, but I didn't realize it was that big. Okay, and it's business people. It's the people I'm looking for. It's the type of people, my best client is a webmaster, somebody that builds a website, and now they need to promote that website. And that's my client. So my best people that give me work are webmasters, or people that design websites. Not that I don't have other clients, not that I don't do other marketing, but that's my best client for a search engine optimization. Okay. So this tool actually goes out. It takes me, if I use just the tool, less than 5 or 10 minutes a day. I leave it open on my browser on my computer while I'm working, and it goes out and it searches these profiles, and it actually clicks on it. It says that I viewed it. And pretty soon, what happens is people start looking at my profile, and they start sending me emails, and I start having some communication cycles. And then next thing you know, I got some business.
Is that a LinkedIn tool?
It's a LinkedIn tool. Well, it's
associated.
Offered by.
no, it's made for LinkedIn, but LinkedIn didn't make it. Somebody else made it. It's something you actually put in your browser. If you want, send me an email tomorrow, and I will send you the link, and you can go it. To be on LinkedIn and be able to do this, you need to be a professional user, which is I think $59 a month. The tool is free, but if you want some filters, extra filters, it's $49 a month. I mean, it's not. You could do it for free. I've been using it for free, and it's been fun. I will upgrade. Just because the tool is too awesome, and I'm not going to exchange them with the guy that developed it, and it's just going to pay. But the point is this prospecting, right? So I'm out there looking for like-minded people. What better place to go? Now, Facebook is good, but Facebook is a different platform. LinkedIn is just for business owners. Not just business owners, but that's where business people go. A lot of business people. Right? So if you set your filters up, and you go out and you find these prospects. Now I spend a little bit more time on it because what I've been doing is I post an article every day. So 5 days a week, I post an article. Right? By doing what I'm doing in my category, I'm in the top 2%. So when you bring up the category, I show up 1 to 4. My profile shows up from 1 to 4. So when somebody's looking for my services, I'm on the first page for the top 4 usually. By the end of the month, I'll be number 1 and number 2. Right? And what's the reason for that? Somebody types in whatever I do, websites or SEO or online marketing or social media, they're gonna come to my profile. It's exactly what you do when you go out for meetups. It's exactly what you do when you're out looking for like-minded people. And you shouldn't stop doing that because nothing beats a nose-to-nose, toe-to-toe intervention. There's nothing like it. You should never stop doing that. But this tool is much more modern. Okay? So again, if you email me, and I'll make sure I put my email in the video so you can email me, I will send you a link and you can set it up. There's instructions. It literally took me 15 minutes to set it up. Wasn't hard to do. I set up my profile. That took me another 20 minutes, half an hour to set up my profile. And voila, just let the tool work. Okay? So what's the definition of prospecting? It's locating someone to sell your product or service to, which is a like-minded person. Like-minded to what? The product, not you. So what would be a like-minded person to your product? Probably someone that has a problem that your solution will fix. Right now, Your financial planning, right? I need to make sure I get that right. So financial planning. So I'm guessing that if I had to look at your business, I would think, and I could be totally wrong, I would think that somebody like me in their early 50s, mid 50s is your best client because they're thinking about retirement. And they want to make that money work the best they can, so when they get at the end, they got the nest egg.
50 to 70.
50 to 70, yeah. Yeah, but I would think that, when they're still working, they're in their most prosperous years, because I would think between the age of 45 and 60 are your most prosperous years, because you got your education, you got your experiences, you got your connections, you got something, you got a lot of going for yourself, and you're still healthy, right? Not that you're not healthy after 60, but, yeah. But I would think that's your prospect, right? So it would be someone that is in that realm. So are those kind of people going to go to meetups? Maybe, maybe not. So now the next tier that I would pick is a self-employed guy. Because a self-employed guy is too busy worried about cash. Making payroll, paying his taxes, making money. He's not always thinking about the future. So if you can train that guy to skim 5 or 6 or 10% off of his gross sales and give it to you, in the end, he'll have a nest egg. Because the bottom line is, if you got a guy that's doing $10,000 a week in gross sales, he's not going to miss $500 or $600, right? If you skim it off the top and nobody knows where it is, quite frankly, he's just not going to miss $500 or $600. Care who he is, just not. But $500 or $600, $500 a week, that's what, $25,000 a year, right? Give it to somebody like you for 10 years, it's a whole different beast. So when you're working, my philosophy is when you're working, you should get paid. You should work once, get paid twice. And the way you do that is obviously you get paid because you need cash, you need to make your bills, but you also build wealth. Like in my business, when I owned my gas station and I was working on my business, I bought a building. So yeah, I was struggling to pay that mortgage every month, but in the end, I sold the building and made a bunch of money. Right? In this particular case, what I'm saying is with somebody like Jim, he's a financial planner, if you're working, just skim off $500 or $600 a week or $1,000 a week, whatever the number is, and let him do his job. Now you're working once, getting paid twice, because he's going to build wealth for the end game. Because that's what we're all doing it for, right?
On the income that you already work with.
Yeah.
Work twice for you.
Well, if you get a guy like him that knows what they're doing, and a self-employed guy, he's going to show you how to do it so that possibly there's tax benefits, right? So that means that your gross sales is your gross sales. So it's going to come off of your gross sales. It's not going to come off of your after-tax dollars. It's going to come off of your before-tax dollars. So if your income is $10,000 a week, or your incoming sales are $10,000 a week, you give him $1,000 and it's tax deferred, or tax free, tax deferred probably. Not now, it's only taxes on $9,000 because you gave him 10. Yeah. Okay, so I went off on a total tangent there, but you get it. But this is what happens when you're prospecting, because you want to know who's your avatar. Who's your perfect customer? Try to do that drill. Try to do that drill. After you do your valuable point of product, like I showed you last week, now close your eyes and envision, especially somebody like you that's done a lot of business, envision who is my perfect customer? What's the best customer I ever had? And actually get a name, get a face, get a transaction if you can in your head, and say, who is that? That's your avatar. That's your perfect client. So now, when you're out networking, what are you going to do?
Look for that avatar.
You're going to say, yup, this is close. Nope, it's not. But at least you have that really clear idea in your head of who it should be.
Save a ton of time hanging around with the wrong ones.
Okay, so when you're prospecting, that's important. So knowing your avatar or who your perfect client is exactly what you want to do. So when you're out networking, now that you know what your valuable client product is and what people are going to exchange with you for, now you have to find people that will make the money in the product move. Because I make this pen and you got $10. Bottom line is the pen and the $10 aren't going to get together ever until you and I make it move. So your thinking and my thinking and these minds together are we're going to make the things flow around, right? And think about it. If you had $10 and I have this pen and we put them on the, I put the pen on one side of the table, you put the $10 on the other side of the table, and we left for 100 years, we come back and it would still be there. They can't get together. So it's human beings that have to get together, and these things that we're passing around are just particles that we decide are valuable, not valuable, whatever. It's all decisions, right? So it's easier to make a decision with somebody that appreciates what you do than someone that has no idea or no clue or doesn't appreciate it. Make sense? So we're looking for that prospect. And I'm spending a lot of time on prospect because prospect, if you fill your funnel with the right people, like-minded people, then the rest of these steps go real easy. They'll go a lot easier. So having an avatar, again, going backwards, having an avatar, someone that is the ideal scene. You know, it's Bugs Bunny. It's got long ears and it's got a little tail and it's carrot, you know, whatever it is. But you can see it and you can visualize it. You can actually go to the fair and have the guy that draws the pictures actually draw the picture, right? Because it's that clear in your head. And when you see that person in your head, you'll start aligning everybody to it or from it. I mean, to it or away from it. Okay? Number 2, opening. Now that you've got your prospect in front of you, what you want to do is you want to get the prospect willing to communicate with you openly. About what?
Their problem.
Pardon?
Their problem.
Good. Good job, Joe. Not your service. Their problem. Okay? Remember my explanation about the plumber. You have a plumber that sells a service, and he's got 100 people in his town. Which, by the way, I've been in places like that. I've been out in Phoenix, Arizona, where there's actually people that are in towns of 100 or 200 people, out in the desert. He's got 100 people in his town. What's the likelihood of all 100 people needing his plumbing services right now? Probably slim to none. You might be lucky to get 2 or 3, or maybe up to 6 or 7. So if you're selling your services all the time, you're only going to have up to 6 or 7 people paying attention to what you're saying. But if you sell them information on how not to get a leak or how not to have a problem with plumbing, now you got all 100 people listening to you. And when they do have a problem, because they will have a problem, because that's how it happens, you become the opinion leader, and they come to you automatically because you've been giving them all this information and helping them all along. Make sense? 3, qualifying. So what does that mean? This is a trick. This is just like when I asked you, what does it say? What is qualifying? Tell me what you think qualifying is.
They need it, can it help them, can they afford it?
Good. Joe?
Okay.
Good. A lot of people will tell me when it comes to qualifying, you tricked me, thank you. I like that. Because usually people tell me qualifying, can they pay for it?
Oh.
It's more than that. Yeah, but that's okay, because that's what qualifying is. Learning what needs and wants your prospect has that your product or service might satisfy for him. And how ready and able The prospect is to acquire that product or service. This is the exact reason why I spent 3 weeks on networking and talking about introductory services. This is a perfect place for an introductory service. So if you have an introductory service that a customer can go into your funnel, so if you're prospecting and you say to him, well, let's put it this way. I'm working with a company right now, and we have designed a tool that you're going to have in about 2 weeks, because I'm going to give it to you guys first. A tool where you can actually open up one screen on your computer, okay, and you can market to all of your social networks. You can do, right now it's going to do LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. The only one that does it right now is Hootsuite. And they're very difficult to use. If you've used them, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay? So I'm going to give that tool for free. Why? Because that's my prospecting. Because I know after a while you're going to get tired of doing this every day, and then you'll hire me to do it for you. It's an introductory service. Right? So what happens is this tool allows you to put pictures, it allows you to post, whatever date you want. It's very, very easy to use, very intuitive. Okay? What are you smiling for? Tell me.
Well, what you said is great, all right? I use something similar to that.
Yeah.
Only, it's not only do they push it out to Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, but it's also, for me anyway, where it's important, it's compliance approved articles.
Good.
So it's on automatic. I just tell them when I want it done and the type. So it's not all business stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Boom, boom, it just automatically goes out.
Good.
And it's fabulous. It's just I couldn't do it where if it wasn't in the realm of the compliance side of it.
Right.
So,
right. Good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's great. That's a great tool you got.
Yeah. Yeah. So the point is that you're prospecting. First of all, if I say to Joe, I say, hey, Joe, I got this tool. And he's like, really? And he actually takes the tool from me and uses it. Is he a prospect? Yeah.
He's interested.
Right? And I went through my opening with him by telling him, now I'm into qualifying. Did he just qualify? He took my tool and he's using it. Right? And there's many ways that you can do introductory services. In today's environment, there's tons of ways you can do it. Video is the best way. YouTube videos, just put them behind a private channel and give them videos. Show them how-to things, how to do this and how to do that. Right? That's worth a couple $100 in some industries. Search engine optimization, if I put together 10 or 12 videos, it's worth $100 or $200 to show some of the tricks that I do on my computer to get people ranked. Hell yeah. I'm $30,000 into my education right now. 30 grand. And this is my second round. I did my real estate education. It was 55, 60,000. I would have been better off to go to college.
Not with anything.
All right, good. Step 4, we're going to continue. I'm going to end off in a minute. I'm just going to give you the other steps, and we're going to continue next week. Step 4 is presenting. And step 5, what's step 5?
Oh, you closed it.
Yeah. We got that one right.
Here's the interesting thing about these steps. I'm going to go over these the next couple weeks so that we really get these. And here's the reason why. If you don't close, what do? Back up one step. They missed something in the presentation. If that doesn't work, back up one step. until you find where the missing link is. And I'm going to tell you next week, because I'm out of time, presentations are absolutely, positively, completely done wrong most of the time.
Teaser for next week.
Exactly right. You gotta practice what I preach, man. Presentations are almost always done wrong. I have a technique that I figured out by accident. It's called how to sell in a non-selling environment. It's so simple, it'll make you want to vomit. Big gross. It is that simple. When I explain it, it's so simple you'll miss it. I have to embellish it so you get it. How to sell. How do you do a presentation in a non-selling environment and sell? And you guys do this. You know how to do it. It's not like I have to teach you how to do it. I just have to clarify it for you. And that's what we're going to do.
Do it consciously instead of subconsciously.
Calculated. So next week we're going to cover that. Okay, any questions? We cover enough tonight?
Yep.
Prospecting, we covered that mostly. Now we understand why. Okay?
Good.
I'll see you next week. Tuesday night, 30 Hazel Terrace, Woodbridge, unit number 21.